What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So before I get into this video, I want to give a shout out to a couple of subscribers for showing love to the channel. Shout out to Nathaniel Hansen. I'm a little bit late with this one. Quite a bit late for this one. But shout out to Nathaniel Hansen for a donation to the channel via the PayPal. Much respect to you for showing love to Too Raw for TV. I also want to give a shout out to Derek Lyles for the donation to the channel via the PayPal as well. And I want to give a shout out to Jean Gabriel Imbert for the donation to the channel as well. You said thank you for all that you do and for your honest takes on basketball history. I'm trying to see if I can see your entire message. For some reason I can't see the whole thing. Said thank you for all that you do and for your honest takes on basketball history. I've learned much from your videos and have I cannot see the rest of it. It's not letting me see the whole thing, but I apologize for that. But I truly appreciate you showing love, and I'm glad that you enjoy my videos, my content, man. I hope it inspires you in some way. So, in this particular video, I want to talk about Wilt Chamberlain and how back in 1978, he came very, very close to resuming his basketball career. But the only thing that stopped it was the fact that the Los Angeles Lakers wouldn't allow it. They wouldn't allow it. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, back in 1978, I think it was early in the 78-79 season, Wilt, by this point, was 42 years old. Now, realistically, he wouldn't have been the same player. Even with his amazing athleticism, he wouldn't have been the same guy. But considering that his last season he averaged about 13 points and 19 rebounds, or 18 rebounds, whatever the total was. I think 19 rebounds. I mean, you have to think he still could get you a good double-double. 10 and 13 maybe. Whatever the case may be, he had a comeback back in 1978. But the Lakers still owned his rights. When he retired, he still had 1 year left on his contract. He still had 1 year left, but he wanted to bypass that. He wanted to bypass that and sign for one of those teams that had his interest, but the Lakers legally would not allow it. So, matter of fact, the Lakers were the reason why he couldn't play for the ABA team that he coached in 1973-74, the year after he retired. So I'll put a link to this article. It's an old article from New York Times from 1978. Wilt Chamberlain, the 7'2" center who retired 5 years ago as a career scoring leader in the NBA, says he wants to play basketball again at the age of 42. Chamberlain's attorney, Seymour Goldberg, said yesterday that he had written a letter to Jack Kent Cooke, the owner of the Los Angeles Lakers, asking Cooke to release Chamberlain from contractual obligations dating back to 1973 so that Chamberlain could negotiate with other teams. The idea of Chamberlain making a comeback was met with skepticism in some quarters because of his age, the fact that very few teams have shown a need for a substitute center, and the Lakers' reluctance to let Chamberlain go without compensation. However, Goldberg said that Chamberlain would definitely work out something with the Lakers so that he could play this season. A lot of teams have been talking to Wilt. A lot of teams seem interested. So this is Wilt right here talking about this situation right now from 1978. You should be able to hear this.
I don't believe that a man owes the rest of his life to a particular team. You know, I've given up a certain amount of my time for the Lakers and for the league and other their rules. I also believe that now I'm a free agent to do what I want.
But suppose the Lakers say you can't go to Chicago, you only belong to them. You going to try and come back and play with them?
I have an answer. I've already sent a letter to the Lakers and to the league stating that if they own me, well then pay me, and I'm going to come in there and see whether they want me to play for them. I tried 2 years ago to come in and play for them, and they disallowed me to play for them. But they're still claiming they owe me. I mean, they own me. So if they own me, they're going to have to pay for owning me. And I'm going to give them a chance to do that by going into their organization and ask to play for them within a matter of a week.
Now, to be fair, I think Will has a point. If a team is preventing you, from playing for another organization because they say they own your rights, well, I think Wilt, if not mistaken, Wilt challenged them and said, okay, since you own my rights, pay me. Matter of fact, I believe he said something to the effect of, I'll come back right now and take that $600,000, whatever it is that you owe me now, to watch Kareem throw up skyhooks. Let me see if that's what he said. He said, according to a spokesman for the Lakers, Cook has not received Goldberg's letter. Cook will take the matter under advisement as soon as he sees the contents of the letter, as soon as he knows exactly what Will is asking for. Now, before I go further, for those of you who don't know this is before Jerry Buss bought the team. All right, Jerry Buss bought the team back in 1979. This is 1978, the year before that. So at this point, the owner of the team was Jack Kent Cooke, who also at that time, I believe, he had already purchased the Redskins, well, the team formerly known as the Redskins. So this is when Jack Kent Cooke was a major owner. I believe Jack Kent Cooke passed away back in 1997. But anyway, Chamberlain indicated a willingness to return conditionally. I'll come back within an hour if the Lakers are willing to pay me $600,000 to sit on the bench and watch Kareem Abdul-Jabbar skyhooks, said Chamberlain from his home in Bel Air, California. I'd be a damn fool not to, but I doubt the Lakers will meet my price. Well, I guess the $600,000 is what Wilt think that his value is, going by the NBA standards at that time. I don't know. I have a sinking suspicion that Wilt's motivation to come back to play may have a lot to do with Kareem. Okay, at that time. Now I don't know exactly how many points he had at that point, but Kareem was 1978. He was 31 years old. All right. Now, let me see if I can Google, see how many points he had at that point. Let's see. I can figure it out. So by that point, Kareem had 20,238 points going into that season. So by age 31 actually, 31. By age 31, Kareem already had 20,238 points. And his averages at that time, because Kareem retired in 89, averaging 24 points, 6 points, and 11.2 rebounds. But back then, his averages was probably crazy. Yeah. 29.2 points, 15.1 rebounds, 4.3 assists, 1.3 steals, 3.4 blocks. So it was probably closer to 4. Yeah, Kareem was a beast, y'all. But anyway, I think he started noticing that Kareem was scoring about 2,000 points a season. So by next year, 32, he's at 22,000. At 33, he's at 24,000. At 34, he's at 26,000. You feel me? I think he started noticing Kareem is he's on pace to break my scoring record. Let me add a little bit more to it. That's a theory I have as to why he wanted to come back. Ultimately, I think it was probably best that he never did come back, because I think it would have probably. I think if Wilt had came back, I think he would have had some bad games offensively, just because he was so much older. Don't get me wrong, the guy was a tremendous athlete, but 42 is 42, especially back then. And you already weren't looking like the Chamberlain of old when you were 35, 36, 37. Now you're 42. To be fair, though, this is when Wilt was at his peak as far as working out and lifting weights. So this is the version of Wilt that's probably bench pressing around 550, 570 pounds. So it would be interesting to see him working in the paint against some of those bigs. You know, seeing him go against Artis Gilmore and Daryl Dawkins would have been a treat. That would have been interesting, but I doubt at that point in his career he could play a lot of minutes. But then again, he probably could still play 30-some minutes if he could play 45 minutes in his prime. But I just don't want to see, situations where Wilt's jogging up and down the court and is getting burnt on defense by some of the fleeter-footed centers. You know what I'm saying? That I think he would have had a lot of problems with those guys, especially guys like I can see Wilt having problems with a guy like Bob McAdoo, for instance. At that point, I can see him having a lot of problems with Elvin Hayes if he had to try to guard him. I think it would have been embarrassing. But anyway, that's all I got to say about it. Tell me what you guys think.